Yes, guys, welcome back to Box Football and welcome to another Champions League quarterfinal prediction. We've been doing this for Jack, how many years now? Six?
It's been a few.
It's been a good like this is how this channel kind of got started with Champions
Yeah.
League. I love for European football and it's back again and we got four juicy fixtures that we got to talk about. Four blockbuster fixtures, four fixtures that to me have a bit of everything, you know. But let's start off with the first fixture that we're going to talk about is my team. It's Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, and for all the historians out there, you know the last time that these two faced off in a knockout stage. Game. It wasn't too pretty for Arsenal. We lost 10-2. Yeah, and then we haven't seen them since in the last, I think, three meetings, 5-1, 5-1, 5-1. But the difference is that both teams are different, from where Arsenal were now, where Arsenal is right now, where Bayern were back then, and where they are now. Two completely different things. Bayern, for winning the league 11 years in a row, Jack, it looks like they're not going to win the league this year. Got knocked out of the got knocked out of the German Cup, and like as great as Harry Kane has been, it's been a bit of a weird season for them right now, and it could end in a trophyless season for Bayern Munich. I think the first time in what, Jack, almost what 12, 13 seasons without the first
Yep.
time they're going to go trophyless if they can't win the Champions League. But Jack, how are you feeling towards this game right now?
Um, Arsenal have displayed a great deal of maturity over, let's not just say the last few years, James. I want to throw names like Matteo Guendouzi, Francis Coquelin, just a few names that were part of the Arsenal sides getting beaten by Bayern Munich way back when. Not the same animal anymore. Declan
Guendouzi
Rice,
didn't play against Bayern Munich. He never played
but
against Bayern
like,
Munich. Yeah.
but I'm just that caliber of player, that type of level of team is the one that was trying to come up against these kind of more prime Bayern Munich sides. Arsenal have matured immensely. I think that they have a manager who's now ready to win. They have a team of stars who are ready to win. Their recruitment has been absolutely fantastic in quite a few key positions. And I think that this is a team that are happy to go to the Allianz Arena and strangle a game. It's not too far in the distant past here where Arsenal Man City was at the weekend. And we saw, okay, yeah, kind of a boring, kind of a dull game, but we saw Arsenal hold Manchester City to goalless. They got managed to get a clean sheet. Arsenal from before, especially with the first leg at the Emirates, I think everybody would be screaming, well, Arsenal may even win the first leg 2-0 or whatever, but they're going to go to the Allianz Arena and they're going to get destroyed 6-1 or whatever. It's not the case anymore. I think Arsenal are more than capable of winning at home. And I think basically the way Arsenal are playing, and also add in the way Bayern Munich are playing, Arsenal are capable of winning both legs of this game. But if Bayern Munich then come with a bit more motivation, a bit more aggression in the second leg at home, I think Arsenal are a team at this point who are capable of just dealing with it, handling it, and go through. For me, I know there are always upsets in these knockout competitions and all this kind of stuff. Arsenal go in, first of all, as massive favourites. And James, I won't lie to you, out of all these games, this is my clearest favourite. If you were telling me to qualify who's the favourite to qualify out of all four of these matchups, I would pick Arsenal to beat Bayern Munich in their current iteration. Personally, I know you might be thinking, hang on a minute, because you're an Arsenal fan, maybe you're a little more pessimistic. But for me, I don't know the other fixtures we can talk about, but I think Arsenal are the clearest favourites so far.
Um, I have to look at what I see, Jack. In clearly this season, this is not the same Bayern Munich team of
No.
years gone by. And this is a completely different Arsenal team. I'm going to speak a bit about Bayern. The issue with Bayern is that, Jack, the style is kind of same, trying to play out from the back, squeeze like high line. Manuel Neuer pushes up, thinking about stopping the opposition from playing over the top, but they're a lot more gettable, Jack. Yeah, how many times Upamecano have been sent up this season, Jack? How many times have they been leaking up opportunities and giving teams chances? As much as we say that they went through and looked comfortable against Lazio at the Allianz Arena. If you remember, True Mobile had a great chance, Jack, to make it 2-0 to Lazio, and that could have changed the whole absolute game. Yeah,
And
defensively,
Lazio haven't been good this year too. So it's
exactly.
again, it's the level drop. I think.
Exactly. Bayern have shown that they've been got to. How many times they drop points in like bad games in Bundesliga this year? It isn't great. But the one thing that separates them, Jack, the one thing that they have, they might have the best front five in Europe. Leroy Sané, Coleman when he's fit, Gnabry when he's fit, also Kane, uh,
Jamal
Musiala,
Musiala.
who's incredible. Jack, that trio right there gives any team a chance. And the fact that they're there,
Oh.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that if Bayern are going to win, that will be the difference. I can't
Yeah.
see them being stalled and stopping Arsenal from playing because Arsenal will have their own. It's question if Arsenal want to go toe to toe with Bayern Munich, I don't think it's going to be great for them. But what I seen from Arsenal against Manchester City, I sat there and of course it was a bore fest. It wasn't nice to watch if you're like a neutral, but in terms of a European title, to go to Etihad and stop a team playing like Manchester City, yeah, and not let them score, not also that limit them to almost zero chances, Jack. That is massive. In going into a European game, especially away European games in tough atmospheres, in my opinion, Etihad right now is the toughest place to go in Europe. Toughest place to go in Europe. And the fact that we were able to do that, that gives me great confidence going into a second leg. If we can take a lead against this Bayern Munich team, going into the
Right.
second leg, that we can go there with that defense of Saliba, Gabriel in there, Raya, Rice, like in the back for Kivior on one side, Ben White. That's a strong defense right there. My only issue is if we're going toe to toe on like the attack. Arsenal have scored a lot of goals this year, but I don't think our attack is up to Bayern Munich's. But defensively, I think that we are a much better team right now. This is a great attack versus a great defense, and to me, let's see how it goes. Jack is saying Bayern are Arsenal are out and out favorites, and Jack, I love that. But I have to be real with ourselves. A team to me who haven't played a semi final since 2009, it's hard for me just to put them in there. But that Man City game is giving me confidence. The only thing I'm going to say, the difference to me that will be in this game is the fact of how great Bayern's individuals are. Kane, Musiala, Sane. That is the only thing that's going to make me sway the other way. Yeah, that is the only thing. And I'm going to say just Bayern Munich edging Arsenal out. And also, Jack, the first leg is massive. Because I think
Yes.
If Arsenal can take a lead, yeah, or even a draw going into Allianz Arena, Jack, you know what it's like when it's not quite clicking for this Bayern Munich team. Players get frustrated, fans get frustrated, and that might be a thing that could hurt them. Jack, we've seen
So,
Villarreal, we've seen Villarreal able to go to Allianz Arena and win there and knock out Bayern Munich.
so I know we want to move. I know we want to move on here very quickly, but I'll be annoyed if I don't mention this. Thomas Tuchel's gone at the end of the season. Okay. Joshua Kimmich has a year left and is probably going to be gone at the end of the season. That's a huge blow as well. Alphonso Davies is going to be gone at the end of the season. Kim Min Jae is being like benched for Eric Dyer periodically. Not entirely sure why that's happening. Mattis de Ligt isn't getting the game time that he likes as well. There's some changes in midfield. Whilst that attack is looking really good, the foundations from manager to club captain to key players across the pitch in midfield and in defence is all over the place. Arsenal, I see unity, I see a focus, goal orientated. For me, I just have a bit more conviction and I'm more convinced by that than anything else. Arsenal are much more of a unit at this point. The individuals argument, I totally agree with you. And guys, I'm not trying to pretend that Bayern Munich are a team in the last eight here that they have no right to be here, like FC Copenhagen have snuck into the last eight. It's still Bayern Munich. But for me, with all the matchups, I can just see Arsenal taking this one. Let's move on though, because I know I'm probably got you all excited about Arsenal beating Bayern Munich finally in a big knockout. I'm gonna let you tee off here though. Real Madrid, Manchester City, a kind of tie which I'd like to be a semi-final. Really, I'd like to be a final, but we've got it in the quarters. At least we have it. I'm just grateful we have it. How do you see this one going? Because James, this for me was the most difficult one to call.
I actually hate the fact that it's on the same day as Arsenal, Bayern Munich. I absolutely hate that. So I'm gonna have to have two things going on at once because I gotta watch both games. But Man City are the best team in the world, Jack. And as much as like they did drop points against Arsenal, they're still on course to win a treble, Jack, if everything goes right. We know Man City are like in these big games and Jack, the biggest thing for last season, they cracked the glass ceiling. They know what it's like to taste that European glory. They know what it's like to beat Real Madrid. Yeah, in like Jack, think about it, in a big Champions League game and take themselves to the final. it's hard to bet against them. It's hard to bet against the defending champions. But the one thing that can actually stop them is Real Madrid. You know, Real Madrid have been tainted with injuries this whole season. Everyone just seems to just let it go because it's Real Madrid. But look at the back four. Alaba's gone. Thibaut Courtois is gone. Militao's been gone for the majority of the season. So many players out, and they just seem to constantly keep on. They can constantly keep on going. The factors here for Real Madrid is very, very simple. You know, Vinny. Vinny has terrorized Manchester City in the past, and Jude in there. Rodrigo's also going to play a big part, but the question is like he mainly will play off the right or also up front, which he isn't as comfortable with. The thing I'm going to say right now that makes me sway towards Man City. Yeah, and I know it's a big jump here, is that I like to look at numbers. I like to do a bit of research on it. But the team who has the second leg at home has usually went on to win this tie. I think in the last 4 ties that Jack they've had in the last 7 years, the team with the second leg at home have went on to win this whole tie. The important thing for Real Madrid here, for me, is that they cannot leave the Bernabeu without a win. They must
Yeah,
not, Jack,
yep,
not a draw. They must beat Man City and then
yep.
have Man City come at them in the second leg. Granted, you know, it's like with the crowd and everything like that, Man City fans are definitely going to be able to show up for that game. But if they can bring City onto them with the type of players, Vinny, with the type of players like Rodrigo there, with the type of players like Jude there, they can hurt this Manchester City team going forward. You know, I want to say Real Madrid. I want to push myself to say Real Madrid because, Jack, this team right now, they haven't performed incredible this season in the Champions League. But you talk about that European lust, that European pedigree. That's what gets them through. Jack, the last game against what was it? RB was it RB Leipzig? They
Let's
were
see.
awful. Awful, Jack. They shouldn't have went through in both games. I don't know how they managed. I really don't know how they managed to go through. But they have that European understanding for such a young team in like certain areas, Jack. The amount of European experience that like this team has, they know how to suffer. They know how to go through hard times. They know and also they know how to come through the other side. And no sort of atmosphere will phase this Real Madrid team. Not even as great as Manchester City like atmosphere is, but City with that know-how now, I'm just going to edge them. I'm really just going to edge them going on what they can do in the second leg. And especially, I feel like what Manchester City probably want is to understand what they need to do. If they go there with a lead going into the second leg, that might be a bit weird for them. How are we going to approach it? Are we going to let them come on to us? I think Manchester City's thing is that either a draw or we're losing, and then we approach it. So it's such a fun matchup
Yep.
to look at in so many ways. Jack, do you have anything to kind of
So,
add to
so
that? Because my head's all over the place. I
it,
literally like I'm back and forth with who I'm going to pick, Jack.
So I'll repeat the fact that I'm glad we have it at all. I agree. Should be semi-final. Should really be a final. I'd have this as my final every year in its current setup. Pep Guardiola and Man City against the titans of European football and Real Madrid. That I would have that every year if you could give me that. I'm taking City by a hair for a lot of the reasons that you just said. They have the experience now to do it. There feels a little bit, James, like a ticking time bomb on these 115 charges coming in, and maybe everything's going to be taken away from us. So let's make hay while the sun shines and let's try and win as much as we can. They can't rob us of the memories, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I'm going to throw in a couple little I'm not sure's though. And the reason why I'm bringing these up is I think they're enough to sway me the other way. It's why I say Man City by a hair. Kyle Walker is not fully fit and may not play the game. Now, I'm fully expecting him to do so. Came out of that England game, missed the Arsenal matchup at the weekend. But, James, we know the Vinicius Junior Kyle Walker matchup is probably one of the most fun ones that we can go in and watch. Kyle Walker needs to play well. John Stones is also not there. From memory, John Stones is the right sided centre back in the back four, right?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is, Jack. Yeah.
That right hand side, Vinicius Junior is going to be licking his chops a little bit because relationships aren't there that would usually be there if those two guys were fully fit and firing. So very interesting. I think Rodri has to have the best game he could ever have. And at this point, who's doubting him? The guy's got such a strong, proven track record. He has to play unbelievably well. I am taking City because of the home and the second leg. But I just think Vinicius Junior, and if Bellingham can get his way in that midfield, we're due for something crazy. I hope it's special. I hope they don't just nullify each other. But I'm taking City by a hair at the Etihad. Um, James, moving on. PSG Barcelona used to be so many fun and cool kind of storylines about Messi and Neymar and all this kind of stuff. And there's kind of a good rivalry here for a while. Two very different teams at the moment. Who have you got edging it? PSG, Barcelona.
I don't know, Jack. I really, 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 really don't know because Barcelona, as much as like the notion with Javi and I'm gonna leave and it's been a poor season, Jack. They're okay. They're 8 points away from Real Madrid, so it's a bit difficult for them to kind of catch them there. But Jack, when you look at what they've been able to do, they were able to kind of dispatch of Napoli a bit like easy, and Jack, they find themselves in this position right now, not fearing PSG. And it's almost like if they can go through here, Xavi finds himself in the European semi-final against Spanish. It could be a Spanish opposition in Atletico Madrid, and this thing about him leaving Barcelona could be completely
And
changed.
in a final, who knows, right?
But this, you talk about stars, perfect. PSG, Kylian Mbappe on a break. I've said it about 1,000 times. Usman Dembele right now was kind of getting back to his old self, and also the fact that Usman Dembele did leave Barcelona to join PSG, and Jack, we all know what's been going on there. Barca have a lot of injuries, Jack. Pedri, Gavi, don't know what's going to happen with Frankie de Jong if he's fully fit there. They have a 16-year-old guy in Jack, a 16-year-old boy in Lamine Lamar.
Lamine Yamal, yeah.
Yeah, who's kind of, I won't say carrying them, but mainly being their biggest offensive threat right now. So
yep.
It's hard to pick Barca, but do you trust PSG in their Champions League records in the collapse that they've had in recent years? I don't think this is a great PSG team. I think the midfield is but Jack, they do have him, in my opinion, the best player in the world, Jack. And that is massive. Mbappe's record in the Champions League, as much as he hasn't won it, Jack, he's been to Old Trafford, scored. He scored a hat trick. He scored a hat trick at the new camp. Bernabeu, he's done it. Allianz Arena, he's done it. Listen, wherever this guy is gone, he's done it at the highest level. And this is a stage for Mbappe, and especially now with no Neymar, with no Messi in his way to. Could you imagine if he leads PSG to a Champions League? If he leads PSG to even to a final with this team? This isn't a great team right now at all. I'm gonna
But
say,
James, I'll take even a little bit of juice off it and just say, if you're going to be a Real Madrid player next season, why don't you stick it to Barcelona on your way out? That's what I'd be thinking and doing. Look, I'll just give my 2 cents real quick. The home leg, the second leg is at the new camp. That's massive. That's massive. This could be where Lamine Yamal announces himself to the world. I think people paying attention are aware of him, but I think he could announce himself to the world in this kind of matchup and in these fixtures. Mbappe, huge threat. Huge threat, of course he is. You know that I'm biased. I hate Paris Saint-Germain. I hate them. I don't want them to do well. I don't want them to have success. I'm rooting for Barcelona in a major way. This is a close one. This is a very difficult one to call. I'm taking Barcelona by a hair, similar to the match above, purely because of that away threat. Because James, Mbappe is going to play his part, but is he one man show enough to overcome an entire quarterfinal against a team like Barcelona? Now, he might be. If anybody is, he might be. I'm going to bank on him to score one, maybe 2 goals over both legs, but it's still not be enough to overcome this Barcelona team. I'm going to take Barcelona. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna go opposite way right now. I'm gonna say with all these injuries for Barcelona and just that killing Mbappe factor, which is massive. Jack, last time he was at the new camp, bagged the hat trick, and who can really keep up with this guy once he gets going? I'm gonna go the opposite way and go PSG, Jack.
Okay, we'll round it out with probably the least sexy fixture here. I'm gonna say, no offense to Atletico Madrid and Dortmund fans, but James, Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Who are you taking in this one?
Atletico Madrid found themselves in the absolute brink, Jack, in the last game against Inter Milan. There was a time 2-0 down, staring at the brink, look like they were going out. Memphis, the ball comes on and everything kind of changes there. This is a team that should have won a Champions League a long time ago. And I think Simeone looks at probably he's going to look at this draw, be like, okay, put Dortmund in front of us. Haven't had a great year, but I'm going to give Dortmund a lot of credit. He's looking at the path to the Champions League final, thinking, are you guys
We
going to
can
let
do
me
it.
have this one? You know,
Uh-huh.
you when Jack, listen, when you have players like Depay who can come off the bench into a man as their Morata, who's finally playing, and Jack especially, a player like Antoine Griezmann, who to
Griezmann,
me
yep.
is so underrated in the fact he went to Barcelona and it didn't quite work out then, and people kind of look at him a certain type of way because of it. Like he is a massive X factor in this game. But Jack, at the same time, you have to give credit to Borussia Dortmund, Jack. You look at what they've been able to do. It hasn't been great in the league, but the fact that Jack recently just beat Bayern Munich, Jadon Sancho looked to kind of has gotten playing. They were in the group of death with Newcastle, PSG, and AC Milan. They finished top of that group, Jack, and against PSV made it look kind of easy right now. This isn't going to be an easy game. Yeah, and if people are going to choose Borussia Dortmund, I get that. But I just look at what Atletico Madrid have. Yeah, um that cauldron at home that's so difficult to play against. I just want to see quickly, Jack. I'm going to let you take away where the
Yeah.
first leg is being played because that's always a big
First
factor.
leg is at the Wanda Metropolitano, so it is in Madrid. First leg. I'll just do my piece. Atletico Madrid, kind of similar to Sevilla. I think a lot of people will laud them as the ultimate cup side, right? In terms of live active football, how much are we watching? 50 minutes, 55 minutes, right? There's going to be a lot of rolling around, lots of throw-ins that take 15 or 20 seconds, some goal kicks that take a similar amount of time. They're going to, just toe the line a little bit, but they're very good at that. And James, the dark arts are a part of football. We can't deny that. It's a huge factor. Um, I'm going to say you mentioned the individual brilliance, and with most Atletico Madrid games, I'm going to say, yeah, okay, maybe they're successful, but it's going to be by one goal margin. This is we are not going to be at the Westfalenstadion in Borussia Dortmund and talking about the last 10 minutes of Atletico Madrid are 3 goals up. No, this is going to be a draw come the last 10 minutes of the second leg, or Atletico Madrid are going to be winning by one, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty, whether that be penalties or whether that be them just sneaking it, probably by not the best means ever. I can't see Dortmund coming out on top like kind of at all. And this for me was my second easiest fixture to pick behind the Arsenal versus Bayern game. I really can't. I think they've got a lot about them that can be positive and can be good, but for me, they're just this kind of evil overlord that I can just see battering their way through to the semis.
And Jack, sometimes I believe in history, and the history has told us that this Atletico Madrid team can do a bit of everything. Jack, they can go away from home. Yeah, the fact that the second leg is away from home, and they can suffer and still win. They've done it so many times, and I just look at Simeone. I want to see him win the Champions League. He deserves to win the Champions League for what he's done. So
Yep.
I'm going to go for Atletico too. But guys, let me know and let Jack know who do you have for the Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, PSG versus Barcelona, Man City versus Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Comment down below. Let us know who you guys think is going to win for all 4 games. And this is Box to Box Football. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.